Greetings, everyone. You have a ticket? You don't have one? No problem, my friends. Just hit the subscription button below and come on in. Hey, guys, I want to share some information with you. And this is, I guess, pop quiz. I'm going to use it that way. Can any of you guys guess how many countries around the world that the United States give foreign aid to every single year? Now, there are 193 countries around the world. How many of those countries, pop quiz, does the United States give economic aid to every year? Come on. What do you think? 10%? A little higher, right? 20%? A little higher. 30%, right? A little bit higher. 40%. Okay, a little higher. 50%. Getting warm. 60%. Warmer. 70%. Okay. Real warm. 80%. Okay. Now you're hot. 90%. Not quite hot enough. 96% of the countries, of the 197 countries, get financial aid from the United States. 96% of the 193 countries, get that are 193 countries around the world. 96% get aid from the United States. Now you may say, well, DFG, why is that information important to me? Well, if you're a tax-paying citizen of the United States, it should be important to you, especially if no one informed you that we were giving approximately $34 billion every single year. Now that number is for 2017. I'm sure it's higher than that now. But almost $34 billion every year. So I think that if you're a tax-paying citizen, that should, maybe spark your interest a little bit. Now let me make it even more personal. If you're an American descendant of slaves who are being told that this country does not have money to compensate you, reparations for your enslaved ancestors who helped build this country, along with all of those who suffered through Jim Crow laws, black codes, as you already know, pig laws, vagrant laws, redistricting, redlining, mass incarceration, Black Wall Street, everything that you can think of that has held them back economically. If you're talking about those people, well, I would be shocked if you don't care, if you're a member of that particular ethnic group. If you are an American descendant of slaves, you should absolutely be a little perturbed. Let me get down into the real kind of language that we all understand. You should be pissed. Almost $34 billion every single year this country gives to foreign countries. Oh, and by the way, not that it shouldn't matter other than the fact that a lot of these countries are hostile to the United States. A lot of those countries are Muslim countries that we're giving financial aid to. Again, 96% of all the countries on the planet the United States give aids to, but yet it's the American descendants of slaves, the ancestors of those who were enslaved, and the children of those who had to deal with Jim Crow laws, black code laws, all of those things are not worthy of any compensation? Really? What does that really say to us about America, our government? If it thinks that every other nation on this earth, even the nations that are in it, give me an example, China, our so-called, trade war country right now, we give them over $1 billion a year in economic aid. $1 billion. And you might think, wow, that's got to be number one. They're not number one. China is not the number one. But yet we give over $1 billion of aid to China. Economic aid. Well, let me tell you, and if you really want some more numbers, let me give you some numbers. Afghanistan, and they hate Americans. Well, not all Afghanistan, but that country in and of itself. The Taliban are not quite friendly to the West. Maybe we'll say it that way. Afghanistan, we give $5 billion a year. Iraq, $3.3 billion a year. Israel, $3.1 billion every year. Yet Israel. Jordan, $1.3 billion every year. Ethiopia, $943 million every year. South Sudan, $922 million every year. Kenya, $900 million every year. Pakistan, $892 million every year, almost $1 billion. Nigeria, $644 million every year. Uganda, Idi Amin, Uganda, $608 million, or $500 million a year. And that's your top 10. Yet, now come on, guys. Now I'm going to talk to the whites here in this country, who just, no way, we don't owe them anything. Why would we give them anything? Yet you know that we're not lying about those, our ancestors being enslaved. You know that we're not lying by helping build the infrastructure of this country. You know we're not lying about Jim Crow and black codes. You know we're not lying, again, I'm sorry, about all kind of segregationist policies, redlining policy, unfair policy, denying of GI bills, etc. You know those things are a fact. Yet somehow you're okay with your country giving $34 billion every year to all these other countries all over the world, but you don't think that we, those whose back that were beaten to the dirt, deserve anything? Can you look yourself in the mirror and say, you know what? If the shoe was on the other foot, and I know that my country, your country, is given 96% of the countries around the world. Most of those countries, a lot of those countries are considered enemy countries to the West. In other words, they don't like whites. 96% of those countries around the world are given financial aid, economic aid by your country using your tax dollars, but the people right here amongst you, who you know care for your children, help build your homes, clean your homes, you know what I'm saying, fought in your wars, supported your economy, etc., etc. They deserve nothing. If you were them, you would feel the same way. You would feel the same way. You would feel that you deserve nothing, although everyone else, many of these countries, has nothing to do with America being the country that it had become. You're telling me that you would be okay with that. I'm going to tell you like this. If you're saying, yes, if the shoe was on the other foot, I'd be okay with it, then you're a damn fool. And you're right, you don't deserve a damn thing. You're an idiot. No, that'd be like putting money in bags and holes in it to give it to you, if that's your mentality. You're right. But for the rest of you guys who have the sense that your mama gave you when you were born, or the sense you were born with, let me say that the right way, I'm sure if you didn't know this, you're somewhat, as myself, a little surprised to hear it. But secondly, how can you argue any longer the justifications of no reparations for the American descendants of slaves and Jim Crow and black codes? How can you justify that? Democratic Party, but more importantly, the Israelites, copper color, African Americans, I'm talking to you now. When you hear us talking about, HR 40 is bullcrap, that's why it's bullcrap. When you hear us talking about no reparations, no vote, this is why, guys. This is why. If there's no other argument, I've just given you the perfect argument. I've just given you the perfect argument that if we can give 96% of all the countries on this planet aid, we can't give it to people of color. Financial aid, I'm talking about. I'm not talking about going over there building schools for them, or building highways for them, or putting in, infrastructure, for internets and electricity and things like lights. I'm talking about cash payments. Over almost $34 billion every single year. And that was up to 2017. Again, the number could be 50, 60 billion by now. It's 2019. That's why we need to stand up together as a collective group and demand reparations for any more support that we give to anybody. You want our vote? You're going to compensate us. Just like whatever your rationale, America's rationale is for financing all of those countries at my expense, at your expense, whether you're black, white, Hispanic, Asian, or in between, just like they're using your money to finance all of those nations, by God, by Yahweh, be clear here, treat and us, the people here, so-called African Americans here, you need to give us the same fair treatment. And again, you know, I'm going to use the term that a lot of you guys are familiar with, African American. I hate using that term because we're not Italian, so we shouldn't be having Italian names attached to us, okay? But I'm talking about, you know, the Israelites here. The Hebrew is the Israelites who believe in the religion of the Hebrew, you know, culture, religion. I'm talking about you, copper color people, you. If no one else stands with you, we need to stand together. And we all need to speak with one powerful, united voice. Again, to the 2020 elections, no reparations, no vote. 2024, no reparations, no vote. And if these ties start to turn on Donald Trump, you know what, Mr. Republican? No reparations, no vote. You get nothing from us for free. Just like you giving free money to all those other countries for whatever you believe your interests are, giving them free money out. It's not free money, it's our money, but they haven't earned it, you've given it to them. Then you need to give it to the people right here who has earned the right to be compensated. And you need to do it, and you need to get it done now. We don't hear nothing about any HR 40 thinking about something. We want cash payments. Cut the check. If not, then guess what? We're going to sit it out, and we're going to continue to sit it out. And you know what's coming after, you know, sitting out these elections? Next thing, we're going to start sitting out your economy. See how that makes you feel. Remember Martin Luther King in the boycotts that they did in the early 60s where they refused to buy Coca-Cola products and Wonder Bread products. Remember that? Where they refused to shop at all the different department stores, Woolworth and some of those stores. Remember that? You remember what that did to those local economies? Damn, they'll put them out of business. Remember the Montgomery bus companies? Damn, they'll put them out of business because they said we're not going to spend money anywhere that does not show us the respect that we deserve based off of spending our money, just like you take, like the same respect you would show anybody else spending their money. So we're going to come at you economically next. Voting today, your economy tomorrow, if you don't do what's right by the children of the enslaved that are here in America. Guys, I hope you guys hear me. Okay? It's time now. This is the time. If there was never any other time, let's make our ancestors proud. Let's show them how we can unite, stand together as one fisted force and say either you do right by us or we're going to step away and separate ourselves economically from you and politically from you. And then let's see what happens to this economy. Oh, what we talked about, over $1 trillion we spend in this economy every single year. $1 trillion of a $11 trillion economy. Trust me, they need us more than we need them. And if they got any sense, they got this brain the size of a pea, they should already know that. But if they don't, then you know what? We can show you better than we can tell you. Thanks for listening, guys. Talk to you soon. Talk to you later. Probably today, who knows. DFG, Gideon Slay. Bye now.